All right, Falcons fans, another NFL week in the books. The Falcons have a W on the board, and lucky you, you are listening to FinCast, brought to you by Scana Energy, the official natural gas partner of the Atlanta Falcons. To my left, as always, is the Finn in FinCast, Mr. Brian Finneran.
What up?
And, of course, behind the glass, producer Andrew Groover.
How you doing?
And I'm Tyler Nelson. And, Finn, what an awesome win for the Dirty Birds.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch. Frustrating at times because you had to settle for so many field goals. But that defense was absolutely flying around. Loved watching what they were capable of doing. And the offense really relied on what I thought they were going to do in the first game that they didn't.
Run the damn ball.
Run the ball and run it effectively. It does help when guys are beat up and you get after them. But the Falcons looked really good. And I thought they looked good in the first week against Tampa Bay. You just didn't finish plays.
Right.
Now this week, they didn't finish drives with touchdowns, but they finished plays. They finished plays defensively with sacking the quarterback 6 times, that we'll get into, and they finished the plays offensively by running the ball right down their throat time and time again with Tyler Algier and obviously Bijan Robinson.
It was, I mean, like you said, the word was fun. It was a really fun game to watch, and there were moments of frustration because, again, like you said, we didn't finish drives. In the red zone, it's very flat, very uncreative, and very uninspiring. But just as an overall offense, they look good. The defense, holy cow. Jeff Ulbrich has more havoc going on out there than his son on draft night with a cell phone. I mean, it was fun to watch the defense.
The chaos was Kirby Smart that says havoc rate or chaos, or I think it's havoc rate. It's at a high level. Intercepting passes, deflecting balls, forcing fumbles, sacking the quarterback, pressures. It's all kind of come together. So Jeff Ulbrich, who was our defensive coordinator, played in the league for 10 years.
Right.
A lot of it, I think, in San Fran. Over 450 tackles in 10 seasons as a linebacker and special teamer. And that mentality never leaves him. And you can kind of see his mentality kind of taking its shape with this team and the culture that defense is starting to kind of get.
Well, something I heard Chris Domino say on 680 The Fan this week is, I think, really on the nose, is can't think of a time when you ever saw a single draft class altogether completely perform as like one whole complete performance, right? And of course, he said it more eloquently than I just did, but to have Xavier Watts, Jalon Walker, James Pearce Jr., Billy Bowman Jr., I mean, those guys all showed out.
No doubt. So if you start up at the top and you get to Billy Bowman Jr., who wears number 33 for your Falcons, 4 total tackles, 2 pass deflections, very active all over the football field. And then you work your way down the list. Jalon Walker, 2 tackles, a sack and a tackle for a loss. Xavier Watts, 2 tackles,
interception,
a pass deflected, an interception. So they kind of did it all, and then you finish up towards the bottom with James Pearce Jr., 2 tackles and a half a sack that he shared, I believe, with Ruka Rororo. So I remember in 2016 we made the run to the Super Bowl. Arthur Blank said as much. We need 3 or 4 starters from this draft this year, and that's exactly what they got.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you we'll make it to the Super Bowl, but you got some young, really good football players that are making big-time impacts on this team.
Well, and just skipping ahead on the show sheet here a little bit, but as Groover was pointing out before the show started, we rank 2nd in the league in points per game allowed at 14.5 points. Now, it's only 2 games, but the defense looked really good both games. Obviously, we lost in the first one, and Baker Mayfield was still Baker Mayfield, but to only allow 23 points is still a winnable number in the NFL. So we're 4th in rushing now, again, thanks to this game. But Groover, coming back now to the defense thing, talk to me about the injury that did not participate in that whole thing going on with James Pearce Jr.
Yeah, so James Pearce Jr., sacks aren't everything in the NFL, so being top 5 in pressure rate is huge for a rookie. But I didn't know he was hurt. He popped up on the injury report yesterday with a groin injury.
Yeah.
He's listed as a DNP. We're taping this on Thursday, so we obviously don't have today's practice report. From my experience dealing with injury reports for a decade, today is a big day. If he is a DNP again today, then I would start to get worried.
When do you think we'll know that?
Usually after practice. So I think they usually practice in about an hour or 2. So probably late afternoon we'll know. Well, if he's upgraded to limited, then we're moving in the right direction. Probably going to be okay.
So it's good to see that Drake London is not on here. It looked like we had a issue in the shoulder, but he's not on any of these. But we do see some other names. Darnell Mooney still. Caden Ellis, and Jack Nelson's been on there, and Casey Washington, who had a couple good pass catches. So how serious, and again, I know we talked about this a little last week, how serious are some of these names on the limited participation?
I mean, it's just a lot of times if guys are struggling, they'll be out there. If they got nicks and knacks and bumps and bruises that they're treating early in the week, you'll see them full participating today and tomorrow, and it really goes out the window.
And it looks like A.J. Terrell, he did not practice. He was called week to week by the head coach the other day. So that went from day to day to week, which leads you to believe he's definitely not playing this week.
Right.
And, with hamstrings, these are really tricky injuries. Depending on who the player is, those soft tissue things can last anywhere from a week to 8 weeks.
Right.
So hopefully he's getting rested up and is going to be okay because the Panthers, as bad as they have been, they do have some weapons on offense that we got to worry about.
Right, so let's talk about that. Tetairoa McMillan, did I pronounce that right?
Tetairoa, yeah, that's
Tetairoa?
close enough. I think that's, when people want to spell their name like that with all those vowels, it's their own problem if we jack it up.
T-Mac, as Gruber said earlier, that's their soon-to-be star wide receiver, right? You said they're rookie. Other than him...
He's their first-round draft pick.
First-round draft pick, right? What spot was he drafted at?
He was 8th overall by the Panthers out of Arizona. Put up some big numbers in college. Big body receiver. He got some speed, too, dude. He translates to the NFL. I watched some highlights from him the first couple weeks. He's put up 11 catches, 15.3 yards per catch, and no touchdowns yet, but he's going to be a good one for a long time, I think.
He's a big dude, too.
All right, well, before we look ahead too much, let's come back to this past game. So we did win. It was fun, like I said, but there were frustrations. We scored 5 field goals, and they let us score 1 touchdown. So, Finn, talk to me about the struggles that we're seeing in the red zone.
So, it's a couple things. As you get closer to the end zone, the field shrinks.
Sure.
And the things you can do become harder.
Because the defense gets compressed and they don't have to cover it. Yeah.
And everything speeds up as well. And you got a young quarterback. Plus, you got an offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson who seems to be having a tough time getting the plays either out of his mouth into the headset to the quarterback, or even off the play sheet. It's like he's up there like throwing papers around trying to figure out what she's going to call and what sheet he's supposed to go off of. So, and he's only in his second year. He's in 1 full season, 2 games of calling offensive plays. This was a bit of a problem last year in the red zone. We went up and down the field last year. We were top 6 or 8 in all of yards on offense.
I don't think I knew that.
And we were not good in the red zone. So same things happening this year. You're settling for field goals. You're getting stopped on 3rd downs. You're not moving the chains to get in the red zone far enough. And then you're just not calling the right plays or being in sync when you're down there. So everybody said we'll be better. We got to get better. We got to be more concise. But nobody gave us a reason or how they're going to do that.
Right.
They're not going to tell us. But hopefully this week they can clean up some stuff and they can show us that they'll be better in the red zone.
But hey, we made field goals.
Listen,
that
that's
was
a
nice.
great point. Speaking of which,
5 for 5, baby.
so let's focus on that for 2 seconds. The Falcons, Younghoe Koo missed a chip shot for the most part, 44-yarder in week 1 to force that game into overtime.
Right.
He also dunked one off the upright that luckily went in, so it was not a good look. Plus, he missed 9 kicks last year, and his mind is just screwed.
Yeah.
So you brought in a bunch of guys to work out. You settled for
Parker Romo?
Parker Romo. Thank you very much. That dude,
City's finest, I believe.
yes.
Yeah, he's
The
from
local
Peachtree
kid,
City,
yeah.
yeah.
He absolutely is from Peachtree City.
Goofy looking dude.
5 for 5. He's a good-looking guy. He did all right. He's fit. He's doing good. 38, 29, 33, 34, 3, and then the 54-yarder to put us up by double digits and 2 scores late in that game was huge. He was awesome. And so he was promoted from the practice squad before the game. After the game, put back on the practice squad. Younghoe Koo still on the roster. So I don't know if they got a 2-week tryout on the field, because I got to expect, Andrew, and you talked to us about how this works, that Parker Romo will be promoted from the practice squad again this week, and Younghoe Koo will be left at home like he was last week.
Yeah, I think they're just protecting themselves in case Parker just forgets how to
Shits the
kick.
bed, yeah.
And then we still have Koo to go to him. But Brian, I thought this was interesting. I did an event with Champ Bailey earlier this week, and he made the point that benching Koo was the best thing the Falcons could have done, because it sent a strong message to the team that we are not about losing. I don't care if you've been our kicker for 5 or 6 years, however long he's been here. That is unacceptable, and he thinks that kind of set the tone for the team.
I think it's a good point for him to make. You saw San Fran do it to Jake Moody their guy who's really struggling in San Francisco, they're like, we cut him. He's not helping us win football games. He knows it. I know it. We know it. What sense does it make to keep him on this roster just to make everybody feel good about it? So I guess it's another week. Let him go on the outdoors. Let him go to Carolina. Let him kick on grass. And let's see if he performs the same way. And if he does, Younghoe Koo will probably be cut next week, I would imagine.
Well, and I think that there's another level to that, too, is that I think at times, and I don't know how much this is felt by the guys on the team, but I feel like this this team has displayed over amounts of sentimentality
Loyalty.
at times. Yeah, which is great, and I love that about a person, Arthur Blank, or just maybe as a culture, but at times it's not necessarily what it takes to win on the football field.
I liked it because I stuck around for 11 years, so it was good. It was good for me, but I was kind of helping them win, especially early in my career. Maybe a little later, they could have got rid of me a year or two sooner.
Yeah, I was just passive-aggressively trying to say you were there too long.
Thank you very much.
You down in the red zone about now, too.
That's exactly right.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think it did send a message, and it was a kind of a poignant comment by Champ Bailey to make that. We actually played it on our radio show this morning in the side of the locker room, so it worked out good. Well, he used the word, we could say anything on here, kind of.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So he used the word...
It's the internet. Say whatever you want.
He used the word asshole when he said... But this was a different context. He was talking about Kirby Smart as a teammate, right?
Okay.
And kind of an asshole. But that's...
Like the good kind of asshole. The asshole you want to play with.
I was kind of an asshole. I've been described as this by some of my teammates in Atlanta. Because if you're not doing the right things or trying to help us to win, I could be a little prickly. So, unfortunately, Kelly Kroll heard the cut... But when we played the cut on the radio over there, they bleeped out ass and just played hole.
Right.
So it said bleep hole.
Right.
And she said something like, must be nice when you can call your friends, your former teammates, assholes on the air. And I said, whoa.
Kelly.
Wait a minute. Adam Road Dogg, our producer in the back, you can't say that on the radio.
Well, that's why we got a dump button, right?
We did dump it. It worked out okay. Everybody's fine.
All right. Well, let's talk about, I guess, the Panthers,
yes.
right? So, Bryce Young at QB still, right? And he's still... Hi. Speaking of Kelly Kroll.
Yeah. Hey, Wiley.
We still got Bryce Young at QB, right?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
And we're still... Where are you with him? Because there was a lot of hope, and it's not worked out to the point they brought in Andy Dalton last year, right?
Yeah.
So, where are we with him, and how's he done so far this year?
So, they made an unbelievable comeback last week against Arizona where they opened it up a little bit and let him rip it around. He's only completed 58% of his passes this year. And last year he beat us. He played well last year kind of down the stretch. So I'm trying to figure out his mindset and where he's at and what he's capable of. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks this year. You don't want to turn the ball over at that rate at all. And they asked him to throw the ball last week trying to come back 55 times.
So
it's a team kind of hurting him a lot, too.
I have watched a lot of Bryce Young in my days.
Yeah.
He's a big Alabama fan.
grad, so I've watched. The dude was a gamer. He used to smile when things would go bad. I remember when the big comeback against Tennessee. So I've always been a big believer in him. The Panthers gave him absolutely nothing to work with. He had no receivers, no offensive line, no running backs. He still doesn't have an offensive line or running backs. I'm not a big
Chuba Hubbard's a nice player.
He's okay.
Yeah.
But they have made it a point the last 2 seasons to give him some weapons. They drafted Xavier Leggett last year in the first round. He hasn't really worked out. He's a strange country cat that eats raccoons and stuff all the time.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Google
that after this.
Go look at Xavier
and then,
Leggett.
they added T-Mac, a top 10 pick this year. So they're doing what they can to surround him with weapons. But,
it's going to take some time.
Down 2 linemen is not going to help.
Yes. So that's the point I want to make real quick. They got their couple of linemen. Right guard Robert Hunt ripped his bicep. Usually that's a season ender, but we'll see. He's on IR. And then Austin Corbett, MCL, he'll go on IR. That's something you can come back from. But after what I watched our team do to a team, because the Vikings lost a couple guys in game last week. Had somebody hurt beforehand and then lost a couple more in game, and our guys just started teeing off. That's what you have to do to backups in this league. You have to get after them and make it hurt. So that's what our Falcons did to them, and I hope they can do it this week too.
And I see their replacement right there, Cade Mays, former Bulldog right there. So if the Panthers aren't a good team, other than everything you just said, where are their biggest holes other than if we're exploiting their offensive line or lack thereof? Why are they 0-2? Why are they about to be 0-3?
Listen, when you're a bad team, sometimes it just becomes contagious and people start doing stuff.
Snake eating its tail kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no doubt. They have a middle linebacker who had a team-high 5 missed tackles last week. I think it's Roseboom. Christian Roseboom is his name. You just can't play football that way. You cannot miss tackles in this league because if you got one guy out of place and not doing it, it'll hurt you. Defensive backs, I don't know a ton about them except for J.C. Horn, who's an absolute stud.
Right.
So they got a couple players, but I think if you can attack the weak links, if you don't hear J.C. Horn, if you don't hear Derrick Brown, if you don't hear a couple other guys, you should be fine. They're not a scary team to go play. It's one of those games. It used to be the Falcons, where you play the Falcons, and every week you come up with like 3 game records on each side of the ball. And for the Falcons, you're like Grady, Jarrett, and that's it.
And that's it.
There's nobody.
Right.
And this team, Derrick Brown is a game wrecker.
Sure.
He had, I think, the highest Pro Football Focus grade last week and did a nice job. Very disruptive up front. And J.C. Horn on the outside. Outside of that, I don't know a lot of them.
No,
you know Eshawn Robinson, right?
Yeah, it's a bad roster. It's
Right.
a bad roster. That's why I'm surprised they haven't traded Brown. The past couple off seasons, there's been interest in him. Obviously, he's awesome, and maybe that could help the rest of their team. But yeah, I mean, they got a bunch of nobodies on defense. They did add Hunter Renfrow in the offseason.
Oh, okay.
First
Hunter had
Renfrow.
Did he have 1 or 2 touchdowns last week?
I'm not sure.
Hunter Renfrow.
He's always been one of my favorite guys.
He's just a sneaky good, sneaky wide receiver that can get open and make plays. He had 7 catches on 9 targets for 48 yards for 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
He had got a couple touchdowns late, so Bryce Young knows where his bread's butter. He's going to hit Tetairoa McMillan in the middle of the field. He's going to look at. He's going to look for Hunter Renfrow on third down situations to move the chains and then red zone stuff. So if you understand where you're at and what you're dealing with, you can move the football. So the Falcons can't fall into this malaise. You can't have a hangover from beating the hell out of Minnesota. You have to go on the road 2 weeks in a row, which is hard to do in the NFL, and find a way to get another big win. You're 5.5-point favorites as of today. It was 3.5 when it opened, but to the injuries to Carolina, they bumped that up, and people are jumping on the Falcons. So I just hope to God that we don't see what we've seen in the past and have a letdown.
They also have the hottest coach at the NFL, per the ladies.
Oh, the hot.
Dave Canales. Yeah, the ladies love him. Some Dave Canales.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Why exactly?
I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Good looking dude.
So
It's
Google
either
that.
him or the Browns coach that the ladies like the most.
how do you know this? Just
Yeah.
working at NFL
Let's say
Network?
your wife just told me.
it was always a conversation in the newsroom. Hot coaches.
Yeah, he's a good-looking cat.
I
That's so
participated.
funny.
Yeah, he's good looking young guy.
Yeah.
He's got
Great
a nice
shape.
Yeah, good shape. Was how
He's a
often
good coach.
Mike
The old Bucks OC.
McVay, was he on that list for a minute? Sean McVay.
Oh, Sean McVay.
Sean
Oh,
McVay.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude, too.
Then he was off the market.
He did pretty well.
This
with his
podcast
wife.
has taken a very different turn.
Leonard Fante, he hurt his foot, actually.
So,
Did you know that?
Who?
Sean McVay
No.
tore his plantar fascia on the
Yeah.
sideline last
Yeah.
week.
No, I didn't hear that. How did he do that? Just like walking?
I don't know.
Celebrating,
Crazy
jumping
up and down.
around.
Well, I hope
That's
with
what-
Sean
that's
McVay
what-
a speedy recovery there.
Thank you.
So, speaking of potential disappointments, AJ Terrell, and that's arguably our best player on defense in a certain sense, at least. So, and kind of carrying the secondary with him out, like you just said. In the NFL, you have to take advantage of replacements.
That's very true.
So Dee Alford is behind him, right?
Yep.
So how worried are we about that with AJ Terrell not playing, assumptively not playing?
So AJ Terrell historically has followed the best receiver around the football field. He did it last
Exactly.
week with Justin Jefferson. It's not every play, but it's like certain downs and distances
Sure.
and spots on the field. He will travel around the field. Well, he'll be on the left, he'll be on the right, he'll be in the slot. Now that he might be out with a hammy injury, I would imagine you see less of that with Tetairoa McMillan. You can double team him maybe with a safety in a corner, and then Hunter Renfrow is not going to beat you deep. He's going to be underneath. He's going to be kind of sneaky in third down, so you can play off him a little bit and jam into the line of scrimmage and come up and try to tackle him before he makes a first down. So it'll change what you do defensively, even up front. It'll be interesting to see if Ulbrich wants to blitz more or less because of it, and you just play a little softer zone. And you don't let the T-Mac beat you down the field because there's not a lot of other weapons they have to hurt you.
Well, and going back to Bryce Young, with that, what you just said, if we blitz more and we have more pressure on the quarterback with Bryce Young, how worried are we about him like Baker Mayfield as getting out of the pocket and creating problems.
I'm kind of interested if the Falcons are going to go to they ran that 5-2 man front a lot last week to get those edge rushers after the quarterback, take advantage of that beat up line. So I would imagine we would do some of that again. Because, Bryce is not in a good spot with, I think one of those O-linemen that's out was a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro. So
that's where, again, just going back to like Finn said, we got to take advantage of
you got to. That's their biggest weakness.
Don't give them a chance to take advantage of the fact that we don't have A.J. Terrell. So
he's sneaky. He's athletic. Bryce Young's athletic.
Oh, yeah, he can move. He doesn't like to run.
Right.
He does not like to run.
He's rushed
but he will if he needs to.
7 carries for 42 yards so far, no touchdowns. Last year, the dude had 43 carries, 250 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So he can get out of the pocket and be sneaky and make it happen. But I saw it a couple times. 2 of his touchdown passes, one to Hunter Renfrow and one to Chuba Hubbard, were him escaping the pocket and the defense losing contain.
Right.
And then the DBs having to carry guys around too long, and then him finding a guy on the outside. So that's something they got to be careful about. Don't let him split the pocket and get on the edges.
All right, well, before we get to final thoughts, I want to talk about something you were talking about, I think, yesterday morning on The Locker Room on 6 a.m. The Fan, Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 10. And that was you and your co-host were talking about your favorite thing, signed memorabilia that you have. So Andrew Groover and I are both baseball and football card nerds and collecting. So I want to go back to that. You said, and I would love to see this. You have a piece of the parquet floor from Boston Garden signed by Larry Bird.
Yes.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So Larry Bird was my favorite athlete growing up. My dad's from Boston. He came out to California, met my mom, and never went back to Boston just to visit now. And then had our family. And when I tell you, living in Southern California, cheering for the Boston Celtics was a tough thing to do, especially in that era.
Yeah, with the Lakers.
With Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
And
They love the Lakers out there.
all those guys.
Well, that was one of the best rivalries ever.
Oh, I was a huge Celtics fan, and Larry Bird is my favorite player by a long shot. And basketball is my favorite sport for the longest time. So when I had an opportunity to get this at an auction or something, I decided to go for it.
So,
hold on. How much did that bad boy go for?
It's not important.
Can I guess?
What'd you say?
Was it more or less than $5,000?
No, it was less.
Okay.
It was less. So I did good. Yeah.
So our friend Charlie Culberson showed me one time while he was playing. He showed me some of his cards that he had gotten signed personally with Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, and some others.
Wow.
So I know, right? So is there anything like that you did while you were playing? Like, did you swap jerseys and someone signed? Is there any
No. I was. Remember when we talked about being an asshole earlier?
Yeah.
And I wish I did this differently when I played. Like went over and at least had a little more. I don't think respect is the right word, but reverence for the guys I played against.
Sure.
Just to say, good job, good game. I enjoyed battling against you. You're going to be great. Congratulations on a great career.
Yeah, didn't do any of that?
I did not do any of that. I was angry at the world. I didn't want to be friends with the defense on the other team. I was trying to hang on for dear life everywhere I went. So my number one goal was trying to be productive on the football field, and then kind of forgot about that. It would have been nice to meet some more guys, make some friendships, especially.
Were jersey swaps even a thing?
Wasn't even a consideration.
I don't even think people
swap.
did that back then. I don't know when that started, but it was definitely in the last.
I feel like I remember seeing a guy like D'Angelo Hall switching jerseys with somebody at some point, but I don't know. It wasn't really a thing for us.
Well, you say that you wish you had, but if you had, who knows? That might have changed the trajectory of your career. And like you said, you had to fight and cling to hang on.
Yeah,
and maybe being that asshole is what kept you around for 11 years.
I would 100% agree with you.
So, is there anything other than that you have ever gotten signed in person after your career ended?
I got the Doug Peterson. My first NFL catch was from Doug Peterson in Philadelphia. So I have his jersey down in my basement somewhere. Matt Ryan has signed a bunch of stuff for me, but usually it's for charitable organizations that I'm helping work with.
Right.
I've never really been I had a few baseballs. So no, I'm not really a collector.
Okay.
But let me hear about your guys' favorite couple items.
Groover, what's next for you?
I have this really cool Brian Finneran signed card.
That's hilarious.
No, actually, my favorite thing is when I was really young, I went to Ovi Mahaley's Christmas party at Comcast, and I bid on, not expecting to win, this Mark Ingram signed Heisman photo.
Cool.
And then I quickly realized no one else bid on it, so I had to pay $300 for that bad boy, and I was making $8 an hour back then. So that thing is held close to my heart. It's going to go up in my man cave soon. But
That's
probably
awesome.
my
There's just a
favorite thing.
sentimentality of that.
Yeah,
of that story.
it's got a cool story to it.
Yeah, I got a couple, but I think my favorite is I've got a Falcons, the white paneled football or whatever, that I had Brett Favre and Matt Ryan both signed in person at different points. So that's pretty cool.
I got a Vic bobblehead that's kind of neat. I got a basketball signed by the Harlem Globetrotters. I got
That's nice.
random stuff in my basement. But John Smoltz signed bats from his golf tournaments that we won.
Yeah, well, I have one of those too. My team won
Right.
John's tournament, and the trophy is a bat signed by John Smoltz.
All right, let's sign off.
Yeah.
Talking about signing stuff. What do we think
That
about
was
this
good.
week?
Oh, man, it's
thank
like you're a
you.
radio
Nice
professional.
transition there.
All right, that's good. That was
Falcons
smooth.
are 5.5-point favorites as of today against Carolina. It's a team you should beat. I feel good about where our mojo's at. AJ Terrell could hurt you a little bit, but I think the guys around him pick him up, and I like the Falcons to win by at least a touchdown.
Groover,
Oh, yeah. I think we take this game for sure. I think
Yeah.
we cover.
all right, give me a score. I think we cover too.
I think maybe we score finally. We get in the end zone a few times.
I'm thinking a couple times.
35-13.
Oh my god!
I like that. I was actually going to say 34-18, but I like that.
That's a
34
freaking
35,
beatdown,
13.
dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think it's possible, man. Because it's like you said, if they get behind and they start having to throw the ball a lot, if we can disrupt
Is that
that,
even
then
possible? Is that a scoregami? I don't know.
No, it is possible. It's very possible.
yeah, of course it is.
I'm gonna go. If you need a score, I'll do 30. So we score. That makes sense. Nine points on field goals and 3 touchdowns.
There you go.
So
I like
30 to 21 or something like that.
All right. Well, let's. We're doing the Homer thing again, all of us, and I'm glad you were wrong last week
Yeah.
about the Vikings taking
Oh,
it.
speaking of, give our GM some credit on that awesome draft class. A lot of people, including us me, gave him some crap about
With Terry
holes-
Fontenot?
Oh yeah, I mean those 4 rookies are studs, and it's great to see them making an impact.
Totally.
Well, it's
agree.
about damn time, I should
Got
say.
to tip your cap to him for
Nope.
making those moves.
Yep.
Yes, he does deserve credit.
All
Those
right.
were great, 4 great picks, at least so far it seems. All right, Dirty Bird fans, we will see you next week on FinCast. Go Falcons.
That's right. Thank you, Scanna Energy. Rise up.